Astronaut Scott Kelly will try something no American has ever done before. This spring, he will leave for a mission and spend a year in space. His twin is former astronaut Mark Kelly. Now, Mark's role happens here on Earth. Don Dahler is at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, where he spoke with the brothers. Don, good morning.
Good morning. This is the International Space Station mock-up where the astronauts do their actual training. There are 4.5 million twins living in the U.S., but there's actually only one pair of identical twin astronauts, Scott and Mark Kelly. Now, as NASA looks towards the possibility of a 3-year-long round trip to Mars sometime in the future, the Kelly brothers have become crucial into understanding what the long-term effects of living in zero gravity are for the human body.
I'm the type of person that likes challenges.
Scott Kelly will be conducting numerous experiments with a rotating crew of astronauts, but his primary mission during his arduous year-long assignment
Some holes here for your arms.
is to study the challenges long-term exposure to the extremes of space have on humans.
Do you think that the human body and the human mind are capable of long trips in space right now with what we do know?
People do really well on space missions, but it's the physiological, the medical stuff, the stuff like radiation and loss of bone mass and muscle mass and density. You know, it's those things that we need to figure out.
Mark, Scott's twin brother, will also take part in figuring it out, but back here on Earth.
Yeah, I'm in the laboratory on Earth. I'm in the MRI machine tomorrow for like 4 hours, I think.
Having Mark as the control subject is very fortunate, not only because we're twins, but he's also a former astronaut. NASA has data on him going back to 1995.
Genetically, the brothers are almost identical, so scientists will be able to measure how Scott and Mark change physically and emotionally as months pass. The human body was made for living in gravity. Strange things happen to us when we spend long periods of time without it. Bones get fragile, the heart weakens, eyes lose their shape. But that never deterred the former Navy test pilots from dreaming of becoming astronauts.
Who's logged more time in space now?
Oh, by far. I mean, Scott did 2 flights on the space shuttle and then a 6-month flight on the space station. I did 4 flights on the space shuttle. So I have 54 days in space, and I think you're over 180.
It was Scott who was orbiting Earth in space when he got word his sister-in-law, Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords, had been shot.
The chief of the astronaut office said to me, I don't know how to tell you this, so I'm just going to tell you, your sister-in-law Gabby was shot, and she's in the hospital, and we don't have a whole lot more information.
That's one of the things that makes this a significant thing to do. Right? You're not getting in the car or on the airline and flying home. That ain't happening.
As part of their newest mission, the brothers will undergo 10 medical and psychological tests each day, from measuring bone density to taking sonograms of their eyes to counting the bacteria in their gut.
When you get back from a year, do you think you're going to look and feel older than your twin?
I'll probably feel a little bit older than I am right now. But no, I don't think I'll feel older than him. I think according to Einstein's theories, I'll be a little bit younger.
Oh.
Like maybe.
But I was born 6 minutes earlier, so he's not going to make up that difference, but he'll make up some microseconds.
The brothers say they've never been competitive with each other, but Mark does admit to a little envy.
It's a big commitment to go into space for a year, but I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that I wish I was blasting off in a rocket in a couple months.
There's also one additional bonus for Scott. Because the body actually grows in zero gravity, he may well come back a tiny bit taller than his older brother, if only temporarily. By the way, he will be seated next to the First Lady Michelle Obama during tonight's State of the Union address, and that was an honor that his brother Mark had in 2012. Nora?
Great interview, Don. So interesting to watch.
Such
What a
cool
great
story.
Great story and a fascinating experiment. Indeed.
Can't wait to see what happens.
Absolutely.
And they do. I know twins look alike, but those guys look so much alike. Without the mustache, it would be hard to tell them apart.
Very hard to tell.
Nice.